Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Chrome Soft Golf Ball from Callaway.
And hi again, everyone. Jimmy Roberts here, and this is your Golf Central update. News today, the PGA Tour announcing that the WM Phoenix Open, RBC Heritage, Wells Fargo Championship, and Travelers Championship will all be elevated events in 2023, joining the four majors, the Players, the three events of the FedEx Cup playoffs, the Genesis Invitational, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Memorial, Match Play, and the Century Tournament of Champions. It's important to note that the four events that were named today are not necessarily going to be elevated events every year. Meanwhile, the USGA is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the First Tee program, as they've been at the forefront of bringing diversity and inclusion to the game. CEO Mike Whan stopped by Golf Today to talk about their involvement in the program, and he was also asked about the ongoing fracture in the game with LIV Golf as that league continues to chase world golf rankings.
You're a member of the board. How did you feel whenever you've heard various LIV players and Greg Norman demand that the application be fast-tracked, or that some of your fellow board members ought to recuse themselves from the process entirely?
Yeah, what I can tell you is I believe that anybody who applies for world golf rankings ought to be given the same approach, the same seriousness, the same review process, and that's what we're committed to. That we're committed to reviewing this, no different than we reviewed anything in the past, in the same process, because I think it's important for us to treat this no different than we've treated things in the past, and I'm committed to doing just that. As an individual board member, I can't speak for the others, but for me, it's important that we treat this like we've treated others, and that we understand at the outcome of this that the process we used was as fair and consistent as anything we've done in the past.
Mike, as you can probably tell, I was combing through your USGA US Open transcript last night from June, and I recalled how stern you were when you were asked if a breakaway player could find it harder to get into a US Open in the future. You said bluntly, yes. Is that still the case?
Yes, that's still the case. I think it could be harder for a player that plays in a place that doesn't have the opportunity to showcase their skills among a similar kind of set and similar kind of week-to-week grind. Could it be harder to make it to an exempt status of the U.S. Open? Yes, but I mean the difference between the U.S. Open and a lot of other championships, not just majors, but championships in general, is about half of our field is truly made up of Open qualifiers. So if you want to play your way into a U.S. Open, that's been available to you for 100 years. It'll be available to you for the next 100.
Meanwhile, in other news, Congaree Golf Club in Ridgeland, South Carolina, built in 2018. Golf Digest ranked it 39th in America's 100 greatest golf courses this year. It will host its second PGA Tour event this week with the CJ Cup. The first three CJ Cups were hosted in South Korea, but since the COVID-19 pandemic, the tournament has been hosted twice in Las Vegas before it heads to the Southeast. Some of the notables in the field this week will see the top two players in the world, Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. McIlroy is the defending champ. Jon Rahm in the field. So too is Jordan Spieth. We'll also see U.S. Open champ Matt Fitzpatrick, PGA champion Justin Thomas, and 20-year-old sensation Tom Kim. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome in John McNeely, co-director of golf at Congaree. And Congaree is a relatively new course to host a PGA Tour event. So, John, how'd this all come about?
Well, it came about during the day when Dan and Bob McNair got together, and we were looking for a property in this area that we could do and benefit some deserving young people. So the low country of South Carolina was really a great place with all the sand and the oak trees and the pine areas. It just fit our mission real well.
All right. So how does Congaree compare, for most of our viewers who probably don't know much about it, how does it compare to some of the other courses that you've taught at? You taught at Wingfoot. What's it like?
Well, it's really unique, Jimmy, because the terrain and all the things here that really lend itself to firm and fast, which has been our commitment from Dan Friedkin and Bob McNair, was we always wanted to be a firm and fast golf course. We don't overseed. We cut at very low heights. The shots are demanding, but it really is a suitable. We don't have rough. We have wide fairways that we use, but our greens and our fairways are always very firm, very fast, and unforgiving. So the shot making is unique here, and it demands a very high priority as you're playing and hitting shots into the greens, as well as hitting tee shots.
All right, let's stay on the subject of the course. So you talked a little bit about firm and fast and very, very demanding greens. So what type of player do you think would do well here, and what are some of the bigger obstacles that they'll be facing this week?
I think the player will do well here that is a type player that will hit different types of shots. Some of our fairways are sloped somewhat and hitting left to right, right to left. It's not just a long and hit it as far as you can golf course. It is lengthy, but hitting the ball and controlling the trajectory, controlling the shape of the shot will enable a player to manage around the greens because of the pitch and the speed of the greens. You have to go in with certain types of flight, and that's really the advantageous part of playing here. So I like a shot maker that will do well here, yes.
You talk about it being a somewhat long course. What kind of yardage are we going to see this week from the tips where I would assume they'll be playing?
Jimmy, I think we'll be short of the tips a little bit, but I think we'll be in the 74, 100-yard range. It's a par 71. And so I think that we have a lot of good short holes, risk-reward short holes. We have some lengthy holes, and some of our fives are reachable, and some of our fours are drivable. So it really offers a lot of different looks for the field this week, which we're thrilled to have the players. We just have an exceptional field coming into this week.
I love to hear a pro talking about a 7,400-yard course with a lot of good short holes. I bet you that gives a lot of our viewers a good laugh or two. John, so we've been talking about the star-studded field, but how about you give us your thoughts? As a golf professional, I would imagine this has just got to be so thrilling for you to see this collection on the course.
It sure is. Out watching the guys today, all the guys that are out practicing, Rory, John Rahm, I mean, it's just Justin Thomas to go on and on. The field is just terrific. They're very complimentary of Congaree. Enjoying seeing a course that's, because of the no overseed, it's really going. And so it's been great to be around the players, and I think they're going to enjoy a little bit of a unique tournament this week, and we're awfully glad to have them and proud to have them here at Congaree.
John, I'm curious, what kind of adjustments do you have to make when not only the best players in the world show up, but so many of them?
Well, we were talking about that this morning, and we really feel like that our members and ambassadors here, they pretty much see this on mostly a daily basis. Some of our players I was walking with today, they were saying this is normally about what you get when you come here, and a lot of them have been here and played. So David Barrett and his staff have not done a whole lot. The tour has been terrific in saying this is with the weather that we have, and we may get a little bit of a cooler temperature tomorrow, but they were very happy with the firm and the fast conditions, and that's about what we get day to day.
Well, John, we look forward to seeing it. John McNeely down at Congaree. Have a great week, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jimmy.